Corn, a crop of many talents. You could shuck it, pop it, eat it, blend it. You could even gas up with it. It may be perhaps the most talented crop there is, like the Shohei Ohtani of cereal crops. Corn is grown just about everywhere on the planet, from Alabama to Zambia, and it's equally important not only for humans to eat, but also for feedstock, ethanol, even bioplastics. As an aside, maize is another name for corn but has a high oil content, and therefore is used for more industrial purposes. But whether you call it maize or corn, this versatile crop is essential in so many parts of our lives. But did you know that most corn varieties are actually hybrids dating back almost 100 years?
Corn has been an important crop. In the history of the last century, corn yield has increased significantly and really taken off since the 1940s with the introduction of hybrid corn production. Corn is of significant importance for agriculture, but it's also a very demanding crop.
That's Xinzhi Ni, a research entomologist at ARS's Crop Genetics and Breeding Research Unit in Tifton, Georgia. Ni is looking at how corn plants get stressed and how those stressors invite diseases and pathogens to proliferate inside the crop. It's not too dissimilar to us humans. When we get stressed, our immune system doesn't work as well, which enables viruses like colds and flus to get into our system and make us sick. Corn plants get stressed by humidity, heat, drought, and other factors, and when they get stressed, they have a hard time fighting off pathogens carried by insects feeding on them. The end result is some nasty corn. Ever open up an ear of corn and notice the ends are all chewed off? Or the kernels look like they have green mold on them? Or even worse, the kernels look rotted and are turning black? These are all the results of pests not only eating the crops, but they open the door for diseases and contamination. Ni showed me a few images of corn ears that have been afflicted with diseases.
This picture, it really shows you how nasty the corn ear can be. The green mold shown on this picture shows the fungus infection. The fungus is aspergillus flavus. The fungus also produces aflatoxins. Aspergillus flavus can produce 4 different types of toxins: B1, B2, G1, and G2. But B1 is the most important one, and it's identified as a group 1 carcinogen.
As if insects and toxins aren't enough problems, right now in the southern states like Georgia, heat, humidity, and drought are causing major stress in cornfields. Ni showed me a current map of the U.S., with a red line going across the country along the lines of the southern states. That line represents the severe stress line and potential aflatoxin risk for corn production. He said by the end of this century, that line can move all the way up to the northern states, affecting the entire corn belt in our heartland.
Tifton, Georgia is located at 31.5 degree north parallel. It has been an ideal location for conducting comprehensive studies on drought, heat, insect and disease resistance, as well as aflatoxin contaminations in corn. What we are doing in Tifton, it's applicable to understanding the aflatoxin contamination problems worldwide. It has been projected at the end of 2100, the Midwest Corn Belt would no longer be suitable for corn production. I think this is really alarming.
At the heart of the problem is aflatoxin, a naturally occurring toxin. The fungal spores can be airborne, and its spores can land just about everywhere, much like a flu virus. It's produced by fungi called Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus. This fungus is abundant in warm and humid regions and can contaminate corn as well as other crops, especially when they're stressed. When plants get stressed from the heat, or a drought or insect damage, the fungus grows, which increases the aflatoxin levels, Once the toxin gets over a certain threshold, the corn is deemed too damaging for human or animal consumption.
Common way to explain this is the plant is stressed, and the fungus comes in and infects the corn ears. And then, when the corn plant is infected by the fungus, the plant will respond to produce defensive chemicals. And the chemically stressed fungus will then produce more toxin. It's just another layer of difficulty for studying host plant resistance.
This is a major issue for U.S. agriculture, considering that corn ranks third in production value among row and forage crops. In 2023, over 76 million bushels of corn were produced in the U.S. This tricky problem is exacerbated by so many factors, including stress, toxins, drought, heat, insects. Even the plant's own defense mechanisms are playing against it. Ni and his colleagues studied ways how all these factors contributed to the aflatoxin contamination, both individually and in tandem.
We have to further examine the genetics of both crop and the pest in multiple pest resistance that contributes to aflatoxin reduction. Has any other insect resistance involved or contributed? Is there cross resistance or not? Some years drought is important, other years it's puzzling. Drought was severe and aflatoxin was not necessarily severe. There is something out there that we have not identified yet.
Ni and his colleagues looked at how this toxin-producing fungus affected different varieties of corn, like sweet corn, popcorn, Indian corn, and unique relatives, such as teosinte, eastern gamma grass, and Job's tears. Using all this data, they combined several different corn types to create new lines with multiple stress resistance and the ability to reduce aflatoxin contamination. They also looked at traits to help curb stress in corn, such as early maturity so it doesn't have to face long bouts of heat and drought, along with drought tolerance, heat tolerance, and resistance to a host of insects. The results have been impressive. These new breeding crosses, including one of them dubbed 715, have already shown resistance to drought as well as insects and diseases.
Last year, I harvested this ear from the field from our plot number 715. I was so excited. It was so clean without either insect damage or fungal infection.
Ni said these newly developed maize lines are not only important to the southern U.S. states, but will benefit future corn production in the Midwest Corn Belt.
By using integrated approaches and examining both genetic and ecological interactions between corn plants and its pests, I think we are much closer to comprehensively understanding what's going on in the field with aflatoxin contamination in combination with all stress factors such as drought, heat, insects, and diseases. This has been a serious problem for decades. I hope our work will lay a foundation for the successors, future entomologists and breeders to find solutions for these perennial problems of insect pests, diseases, and aflatoxin contaminations.
In our next episode, we'll explore the rebirth of some micronutrient and super healthy ancient grains.